Promises broadcast. This is your host, Sonya Buchanan. Today, I want to read a couple of pages from a book that I wrote called The Journey. It is a 10-year journey that I wrote about my faith walk with the Lord. I wanted to share my experience with others. I thought maybe it would bless someone. Maybe somebody else is having difficulties in understanding their walk at the present time. And maybe my book would give them that push or that understanding that'll take them to the next level. Or maybe my book will reveal some questions that they may have had previously and the Lord has not yet revealed that knowledge or that understanding. In this book called The Journey, I reveal my intimacy with the Lord. I reveal the maturity stages. I revealed in the book the dreams and visions that I had with the interpretations. I also revealed a relationship that the Lord presented to me, a friend of mine, for us to be friends. And it wasn't a friendly way that we were being friends. It was something that the Lord insisted that we be friends so that we may walk together in His Word. I revealed so many different avenues of my walk, and I just wanted to present it to someone. Maybe it's almost as me sending out a baton to someone to bring them over the bridge to the next stages of their life. But let's get started. There is 18 chapters in The Journey, and we're going to start with chapter 1, and it's called The Beginning. In 1973, on a Sunday afternoon, my cousin and I were getting ready for our water baptism. My mother made me a beautiful white dress for the special occasion. I was 6 years old, and I was aware of the importance of the baptism at a young age. We all lined up and took our turns to be washed and cleansed for our future. My turn came to be baptized, in which the pastor prayed over me. Then he dipped me into the baptism tube of water. I remember this day as if it happened yesterday. I remember coming up from the water, face drenched, but something different happened. I remember after the baptism, I was told to stand on the side. While I stood waiting for my mother, a warm presence wrapped itself around me like a garment. I remember when it happened, I looked around to see if my cousins were experiencing the same wrapping. It was strange and comforting, while at the same time, my thinking was different. I never mentioned what took place to my mother. At 6 years old, I never thought of bringing it up. Soon after the baptism, I would later experience seeing dark shadows, and every time the dark shadows appear, the same garment that wrapped me at baptism would wrap me around as a shield. Then the dark shadows would leave. This occurred throughout my life. In September 1996, I decided to move back home with my parents. Previously, I had lived for 4 years on my own in a one-bedroom loft apartment. I loved this place very much. It was my very first apartment, and it was perfect. Giving it up wasn't easy, but I had to move because the apartment complexes had decided to increase the rent from $459 to $640 a month. This was the same year the Olympics came to Atlanta, Georgia in 1996. I was expecting an increase in rent, but not to the extent of $181. This monthly increase was highly unacceptable, and it brought disappointment to my heart, considering that I had made this place my home for a little while. And to make the matters worse, I had decided to resign from a company for which I had worked for 10 years. With short notice, apartment complexes in Atlanta give you 1 month in advance to renew your lease, or you must give them at least 1 month in advance notice informing them that you are moving. However, I wasn't in any position with either situation. I knew I had to move from my current residence. My income did not support the ridiculous increase. The question was now, where am I moving to? I certainly did not want to go back home with Mommy and Daddy. I searched diligently for another loft apartment with a slight increase in rent, but was unsuccessful. Of course, now I am calling the name Jesus and asking him, what shall I do about this situation? I prayed, Lord, help me find a suitable place to live. The Lord did help me by telling me to return home to my parents. I tell you, it was the hardest answer from the Lord at the time that I had to accept. It was the most difficult transition in my life. I thought I had developed my own way of doing things. I was free to come and go without anyone asking where I was going and when I was returning. Nevertheless, the Lord instructed me to go home and save money to purchase my first home. I lived with my parents until I was 26 years old. I wasn't required to pay rent before, but when I returned home, I had to pay my mother rent. Truly, I was not expecting to contribute to the parent fund, or should I say, the mother fund. I thought, under the circumstances, I really did not have any room to negotiate the cost of renting a room, nor presenting my case. I would have taken a stand justifying the reason why her daughter had to pay for room and board, for no privacy, no peace, no more entertaining friends, and limitations on the phone, on their phone. Don't misunderstand me. I was able to entertain friends, but I was not a person who would disrespect my parents' home with strangers to them. I decided that it would be best that I keep my previous life in the past. Although my many losses, it would not have changed God's instructions. This is a portion of chapter 1, and it goes on to talk about once I moved in and followed the instructions of the Lord spoke again to me. What I found out through the journey, the 10-year journey, is that whenever the Lord gave me instructions, I had to do those instructions, and then I received another instructions, or I received another voice, another instructions for me to do something else. And because I was on a journey to become, I was on a journey to behold the fullness of what he has in store for me each day. So thank you so much for staying here and witnessing the book with me. I wanted to share this book. I'm really excited about this book. I believe this book will bless many hearts who are having faith issues, who's having issues of whether or not God is real. Although our trees and bees and flowers represent that God is real, the sun and the moon when it rises and it shines at night, it says that God is real. But as far as having a personal relationship, if you know somebody who has not had that experience, the journey will help them get to that place, to stand before God, asking him to come into their hearts. So if you know somebody, the journey is the book to get. For more information, I'm going to put it up after the broadcast to know exactly where you can purchase the book. But you can also purchase the book on Amazon.com. And also, you can visit our website at www.confidentpromises.com, or you can visit www.sonyabuchanan.com, and it will give you information where you can purchase this book. Until the next time, we're going to read some more chapters in this book because I'm excited about the book to share it with you. Until next time, thank you. This is your host, Sonya Buchanan, with Confident Promises Broadcast.